What's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stock Talk, series I make whenever I feel it's necessary, where we cover some exciting news and price action in regard to some of the stocks we've been talking about on the channel. In today's case, we are focusing on some Bitcoin blockchain related stocks. This sector has been on a tear lately. I can attribute the majority of my gains this week to some of these stocks, so I'm excited to let you guys know what I'm thinking about some of these names. We will take a look at the charts, and I'll just let you guys know what my general thoughts are on where these things are headed next. Okay, so in this video we will cover Riot Blockchain, Marathon Patent Group, Hive, and Overstock. We'll also cover Bitcoin, you guys. Okay, so even if you're not investing in Bitcoin and you may be investing in some of these stocks that I mentioned just now, you have to understand that Bitcoin is kind of the fundamental driver behind the success of these stocks. These are Bitcoin miners, so their success is obviously going to be correlated with the performance of Bitcoin. All right, so we will take a look at the chart of Bitcoin. I will let you guys know what I'm thinking there, because again, Bitcoin goes up, these stocks will likely follow. I do also want to take, we don't have any articles in regard to the stocks, but I do have some Bitcoin articles that I want to show you, and we'll just kind of have some Bitcoin talk. All right, so this first one is Bitcoin in, gold out among young investors, claims JP Morgan. This is a really cool article that I want to share with you guys. And then Bitcoin entering new adoption cycle. All right, so again, these are very fundamental articles, but like I mentioned in the video yesterday, if you guys watched it, you have to focus on the macroeconomic environment, the fundamentals surrounding the individual stocks that you might be trading. All right, so we will cover these. Before we get into it, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it, or if you're investing in any of the stocks we're talking about today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. First link in the description if you're interested in my specific positions and trades on these stocks. All right, so Riot, you know what, you guys, you guys know the drill. We have to start with the fundamentals. So we will actually kick this off with Bitcoin. I'll try to keep this quick, but trust me, you guys, the performance of Bitcoin, again, the performance of Bitcoin so heavily impacts, not directly correlated, but will definitely have an impact on the price action of these stocks, which is important. Okay, so we will take a quick look at Bitcoin right here. I'll just give you guys a very bird's eye view of what I'm thinking right here. Bitcoin, just looking at this on the 2-hour, looks great. So I did mention a head and shoulders pattern in the crypto convo the other day that could potentially play out. That is no longer in the picture. So this is just still continuing an uptrend. I do think that we could very well just see another high here. So it's now set a lower high, or a higher low, I'm sorry. So I wouldn't be surprised if over the coming days we see a $13,000 Bitcoin, just if it does go up to test this kind of short, medium term time horizon. But I do want to zoom out here. Let's just go to the year. So zoom out a little bit, and I do think Bitcoin will actually, and at this point right here, mid-September. So sorry, I'll zoom. Mid-September does come in handy, because that's where that's also kind of like a cross section I want to show you guys when we take a look at Riot. Okay, so you're seeing this uptrend play out ever since we kind of bounced off those March lows during the liquidity crisis, where literally every asset in the planet sold off. So I believe that with all the fundamental factors behind Bitcoin right now that we will talk about, so after this we'll talk about these, and then we'll go into Riot and stuff. Okay, so this is an uptrend. This is a solid uptrend right here. Okay, so this is a solid line of resistance right here, and with all the fundamental factors behind Bitcoin, with so many new eyes on Bitcoin and just so much attention on Bitcoin right now, I would not be surprised in the least to see it come up and once again retest this upper line of resistance right here. At what point, I don't know. It could balloon up tomorrow. Kind of Sorrento, if you guys remember that, showed us that, how fast that can happen. So we could, heck, as soon as tomorrow, we could see some significant price action on Bitcoin. Focus. We could see some crazy price action on Bitcoin as soon as tomorrow, the next day. I don't know exactly when, but I do think that I'll just to safely say, because this line around 17,000, which is a very bold claim, but I'm just so fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin right now that it's not crazy in my mind. So around mid-September, I would not be surprised to see a $17,000 Bitcoin. Okay, and then that's kind of when I expect to see it retest this upper line of resistance as well. Okay, so let's zoom out real quick, and then we'll call it there on Bitcoin. Just give you guys a quick idea of what I'm thinking. So this line at 17K is a line that we set on a weekly time frame on a highly candle right after we kind of bounced down from that $20,000 high in 2017. Okay, so we see it there. I would be surprised, like, I don't expect to see Bitcoin actually come up to 20K and then use that as support, because that's almost too obvious. That's what everyone's expecting. It would make more sense to me to come up to that kind of secondary line, that secondary area that it set a high in, at least on that weekly candle, and use that kind of as an area to maybe see a correction and bounce down and pull back a little bit on, as opposed to the 20K, because again, that's kind of what everyone's expecting, and we'll probably see a little bit of a sell-off prior to that, but it would not surprise me at all. Again, this is still optimistic. Remember, you guys, everything I'm saying in this video, I have no idea if it's actually going to play out. My money's on the fact that this will. This is what I'm guessing with all the data and knowledge that I have. So I do think that by mid-September, we could see a $17,000 Bitcoin. Maybe after that, we'll see a pullback. But I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin, okay? So let's get into these articles, and then we'll get into Riot and stuff, okay? So Bitcoin in gold out among young investors, claims JP Morgan. Older investors are still clinging to gold, the report suggests, while younger investors see a brighter future with Bitcoin. This is a Decrypt article. So I'll just read you guys this, and then just this short, these few paragraphs right here, all right? So JP Morgan Chase Co. issued a report this week about pandemic investment habits. The report suggests that older investors opt for gold while younger ones pick up Bitcoin. Other recent reports have pointed out growing crypto interest from older buyers. Old versus new, physical versus digital. These are well-established differences in the debate over whether gold or Bitcoin is a better store of value. Given that, it's not too much of a surprise that the age of investors also may be driving investment strategies as of right now. According to a new JP Morgan Chase report released this week and cited by Bloomberg, investors on the whole are looking to alternative assets during the pandemic and the economic uncertainty that has ensued. While older investors see safety in gold, the classic store of value and hedge against inflation, younger investors are doing much the same for Bitcoin. The report also suggests that among traditional investment products, young investors are opting for tech stocks, while older investors opt to sell equities. Okay, so this is kind of what I've been talking about so much lately, you guys, right? The shiny object-driven market, this retail-driven market, the retail Joes, the davey day traders, the Robinhood, just the Robinhood day trading movement, okay? And it's not to bash them. It's perfectly fine. But we are experiencing right now a paradigm shift in generational investment, okay? And how these generations who are allocating the capital within the markets choose to store their wealth and where they want their wealth. Again, you guys, this as the world, so many of you guys I know, like, because I hear you guys, I see the comments, I read the emails, read the messages. There's somewhat of a global audience. Obviously, the majority is based in the USA, but there's so many of you who are global, who are not from the USA, and that's awesome. That's so sick. But the argument there is that we are entering a borderless digital world. It doesn't matter what country you live in. All that matters is that you get along with the people that you're surrounding yourself with in a digital landscape like this right now, like with the community we're building here. Borders don't matter. I don't care where you're from. We're all like-minded individuals, and that's the main thing, right? You're finding like-minded individuals, and when you're in a community, a digital community like this, it doesn't matter where you're from. That's the beauty of the internet. That's the beauty of where things are trending, okay? And Bitcoin is borderless. Bitcoin is the people's money. Bitcoin is an international currency. So it only makes sense, again, as things are trending digital. Gold, I still think gold's a good investment. I'm not bashing gold. I still hold gold and gold miners, but Bitcoin just makes so much more practical sense. It's so much more practical to hold. It doesn't make sense to hold like pounds of gold. That just doesn't make practical sense. You can't transmit that. You can transmit Bitcoin like you do Venmo or PayPal. So it just makes so much more sense. It's more absolutely scarce. Not going to rant too much here, but let's go on to this just real quick, and then we'll dive into Riot and stuff, okay? So Bitcoin entering new adoption cycle, Coinmetric execs say. Bitcoin user adoptions looks to be gathering pace as the price rises amid a coronavirus-induced rush for asset with safe haven appeal. The number of Bitcoin addresses holding at least $10 worth of cryptocurrency recently rose to a record high of 16.6 million. So again, you guys, that's good. This isn't a direct metric for Bitcoin growth, but it just shows adoption. It just shows more people having Bitcoin on their radar. The number is now up 14% from the previous peak of 14.5 million reached in January 2018, soon after the crypto's all-time high price high of $20,000. Essentially, there are now more addresses with a small balance than there were seen at the height of the previous bull market. The data suggests a new Bitcoin adoption cycle is brewing, according to Lucas Nuzzi, network data product manager at crypto data provider Coinmetrics. Okay, so you can see here again, just number of Bitcoin account addresses. And even though Bitcoin right now, as you can see, obviously, I'm not gonna zoom out again one more time. Bitcoin is obviously not at 20K yet. It's around 11, 12K right now, so it's not an all-time high. But the amount of people who are holding Bitcoin is now at an all-time high, which is extremely bullish. Because again, it comes down to adoption, you guys. It's not even though it's on everyone's radar and everyone has a piece, that doesn't mean they're going all in. As they should, whenever you get into something for the first time, you should start small. I encourage that 100%. Even if you're not holding any Bitcoin, if you do want to pick up Bitcoin, I just start small, buy the dips, dollar cost average, and establish a position and educate yourself. And that's the big thing, you guys. I always say that education is the biggest thing in Bitcoin. Once you hold some, it encourages you to educate yourself. You'll go down the rabbit hole, you'll learn more about it, and you'll learn about the fundamental place that it will serve, and just the importance of Bitcoin in a new digital world that we're moving into very quickly, especially now in 2020. Okay, so that said, that's the fundamental argument. Sorry about that. Let's get straight to Riot now. But again, you guys, it's so important. It's so important to, like I said, keep an eye on the macro environment, because again, Riot, Mara, they're great, and the charts can tell you a lot, like we're gonna look at now. But you need to know what Bitcoin's doing. You need to know what the financial system overall is doing, because that'll give you an edge in dictating this chart when you look at it. If you just I definitely don't promote just looking at individual charts. I've never been. It works for day trading stuff, but I've just never been one to do that. Let's take a look at Riot. All right, so on the week, let's go to the daily. So I just want to show you guys this upward trend line that I'm still very confident in will hold at some point. And this is, like I said before, remember you guys, mid-September. So this upward trend line, ever since the beginning of May, when Riot started this upward trend, and it has been using this definitely throughout May and the middle of June, has used this line of resistance as a pretty solid line of resistance. Okay, so I would not be surprised at all to see it once again come up and test this line. Once again, when, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know exactly when it's going to be. No one does. But I think that by, once again, mid-September, with same as Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does continue to succeed, we could easily see Riot come up and once again retest this. And again, it depends when it hits it, because this is a pretty steep line in the grand scheme of things. Like if it hit it tomorrow, it would be at 530, but if it hits it mid-September, it would be at about 650. So that's a pretty wide margin. But again, that's what I'm expecting. Once it does bounce off this, unless it completely breaks out of this upward trend line, I will likely consider taking a position. We'll see there, because I'm just so damn long-term bullish on Riot. That's what I want to establish about all of this, you guys. I'm not really trying to trade this market. I might take a little off here and there and reestablish a few days later after a correction, but for the most part, I'm holding the majority of my positions in all of these companies until I feel like the bull rally, the like probably months down the road, maybe I don't even know, maybe years, has come to a halt or is slowing down, losing steam. Okay, so I'm very long-term bullish on all these companies. I want to establish that, but the short term, you have to expect volatility, because these are small companies doing great things, doing innovational things, and seeing a lot of volume. Okay, look at that volume right there. All right, so that said, I do expect Riot to hit this at some point. I am still holding my bags of Riot, know that, guys. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Again, if it breaks above this, I don't really... Do I still have any trend lines around? Let's go to the 5-year quick, just to once again show you guys what Riot can do on a grand scale. I mean, look at this, you guys. Riot in 2017, we're seeing even more volume than we did back in 2017 when Riot hit its high of $45. So it just shows you guys what this thing is capable of. Just be mindful of the fact that this thing could very well go straight to the stratosphere, and could even potentially surpass previous all-time highs. It would only make sense. Like, the fundamentals are just that much better around everything within this sector. So I wouldn't personally be surprised to see Riot surpass its previous highs, but that's a long way to go, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so let's move on to Mara. So Mara, same thing, you guys. We'll just start the macro time horizon. Just look at what Mara can do. So in 2015, I don't even know what Mara did in 2015. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a completely different company, to be honest. A lot of these guys in 2017 pivoted, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mara did that. But again, you guys, you can just see what small market caps like this can do for stocks. And Mara in 2017 reached a high of $40. It spent a lot of time around $40. So long term, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mara once again hit $40, maybe even higher, around like 55. And I mean, you can just see what it can do. Okay, so again, market cap, take that into account. Let's take a look at Mara's market cap real quick. Sorry, I'm my face is right in the way. Where'd it go? It's like right there. Okay, so Mara's market cap is now at $92 million. I think Riot is at about 120 million. I won't go back. It's about 120 million, so pretty somewhat close. Mara's still smaller, but Mara has been on an absolute tear this week. So let's go to the 1 month here and just look at this trend. Okay, so this is something I sent out in the newsletter this morning, just kind of a screenshot of this and explaining this. So Mara, one thing here is you can see volume definitely declining on the 30-minute. That is, there's still a good amount of volume here. That doesn't worry me that much. But Mara has just seen such insane price action as of late, just over the past week or so, that I wouldn't be surprised to see Mara see a little bit of a correction prior to resuming its bull run. Okay, so this trend line right here, or this lower line of support, that's where I expect it to hit. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Mara kind of hit this line over the coming days around like the 460, 470 region, where it also set this previous high right here. So that kind of coincides right there. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That is what I'm personally expecting. And then once that happens, I do expect us just to resume this and stay within this upward pattern, unless we break out of this top line top line of resistance. Sorry, I was looking at this, but. And again, you guys, this is what I see as a conservative pattern. This makes more sense to me. Obviously, you could go like that, like make a trend line like that, but that doesn't make sense to me. I usually discount these absolute highs where not even many candles closed. Okay, so again, I think we'll stay in this line. If we significantly break out of this, I mean, you guys, I just showed you guys what these things are capable of is in terms of price action. So this will be volatile, but just to close my thoughts off on this, I'm long-term bullish on both Riot and Mara. Okay, so Hive is a play that I personally play a little less. I do hold a bag of Hive, but I figure I just want to talk to you guys about it because I see a lot of you guys talking about it, and I want to give you just my 2 cents on it. Okay, so let's go to Hive. Hive is looking pretty good. Okay, so Hive is definitely in an uptrend right now, similar to that. It does look good to me. It would make sense for Hive to come and bounce down around this previous high it's set right here. Could potentially, and that's not really head and shoulders right there, but it would make sense to me to see a little more of a pullback on Hive. It actually did right here. You can see in this candle right here, we did set this candle, this 30-minute candle right here did close just right almost exactly at the solid part on these candles. So that's a good sign. It bounced off that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hive as well continue to rally. Hive is actually a bigger market cap, has a larger market cap than both Riot and Mara. I believe they're at like, what, 170 million? Why does this seem so much more difficult than it usually is? Where the heck? Okay, so 180 million. Sorry about that. So Hive is at $180 million market cap. And again, you guys, I'm just so bullish on every stock within the sector just because I'm bullish on Bitcoin, you guys. And I'm bullish on the fact that retail traders will want a piece of companies involved in Bitcoin if Bitcoin is on absolute fire. And that's my primary source of logic. Like the financials on these, you guys, are probably not that great right now. But they're young companies. That's to be expected. It's not you can't expect these guys to actually be profiting while they're spending money on scaling their facilities and their operations. Okay, so I mean, financials might not be very impressive, but all that matters is that they're scaling and Bitcoin's going up. Because if that's the case, then that makes for a good investment in 2020. Okay. All right, so let's zoom out on Hive a little bit, and then we will get to Overstock. So Hive is another one where you can see here. So Hive, although it's 50 cents, again, you guys, that's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, this stock is so cheap because the share price is cheap." That's not at all how it works. Again, I just showed you guys the market cap. Hive has a larger market cap than Riot, although the price per share is lower. That's just because there's more shares in the circulating supply. Okay, so Hive in its peak in 2017 did reach a high of 670. Kind of same here, you guys. It's just a long-term time horizon. I'm not trying to day trade these again, you guys. I don't even want to say what's going to happen on the short term with this one. But just to keep things in perspective, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Bitcoin does hit 17K, starts to head towards those new highs again, to see Hive get back up to $455 around right around here where it closed these where it was spending these weekly candles. Okay. So that's Hive. Let's move on to Overstock. Overstock has been my best performing stock position by far over the course of these past couple of months. Overstock is absolutely crazy. It's completely blown through just almost without any hesitation. Actually, you see a little bit of hesitation around here. So I guess these lines did work a little bit, except for this very top one. It's crazy that it just blew right through that. It might pull back It might actually pull back to this line over the course of this week, so that would make sense because it was the previous high back in 2018. But Overstock, man, look at this. So back in March, it was at $2. It's now it hit basically, let's call it $100. You would have 50x your money with just stock. That's crazy. That's so wild that you could have 50x your money on just stock. That's like venture capital style returns right there. So Overstock, I'm very thankful that I have held this since, just throughout all the ups and downs. And yeah, as far as the stock position goes, this thing has returned buckets. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. It's tough to tell you guys what, you know what, I'm not even gonna zoom in just because I feel like it's not worth it. So I'll just give you guys kind of my just very bird's eye view, intuitive, instinctive idea of what's gonna happen with Overstock. Okay, so Overstock, you can see here, it blew past its all-time high pretty much right here. So now sky's kind of the limit. It's tough to tell. Again, I think we will probably pull back. It's hard to not look at this chart and doubt the fact that it'll probably pull back at some point, but I mean, up until this point, that would have proved everyone wrong. Everyone who's shorting Overstock has been getting absolutely wiped. This stock is just on a rampage. The market cap, probably have a hard time finding it. I just looked at it though; it's like 3.2 billion or something right here. So so like 3.8 billion, getting bigger. But anyway, you guys, Overstock, remember, this is kind of like a weird online retailer Amazon style thing for your house, but Overstock also has T0, which is their crypto arm, which is a subsidiary of Overstock, which is their crypto exchange. So that's why you see in 2017 they blew up, was because they were announcing that crypto exchange and getting involved in blockchain and whatnot. Okay, they also have they also have their Overstock token, which is cool. I hold a bunch of that. I got that in the dividend because I did hold a bunch of Overstock when they paid it out back in May. So that's cool. They're just innovating. And that's what you got to look for in this space. People who are actually doing things that are making a difference and actually like making a change and evolving with the times. Okay, so that's why I like all of these. You guys, it's tough to, I'm sorry, this was kind of a useless technical analysis, but I mean, sky's the limit. I would be, if Overstock pulls back down to $90 where it's set that previous high, I would call it a good buy. To be completely honest, I would call it a good buy, just because this thing could just keep, like, look at this. That's insane. So this thing could just keep running up. There's not much to say there aside from the fact that it could pull back here. If it pulls back, I would say it's not investment advice, you guys remember, but if it pulls back here, I wouldn't be surprised to see it keep ripping. Okay, so once again, you guys, always do your own research, always establish your own conclusions, make your own decisions. But I do encourage you guys, if you're not, I can't imagine, especially if you're watching to this point, that you're not invested in at least one of the things we're talking about today. But just continue to educate yourself. Look at articles like this. Keep an eye on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the granddaddy that will drive this sector to the moon, most likely. And the success of this sector is heavily reliant on Bitcoin, Ethereum, the rest of the cryptocurrency space as well. Okay, so it's all one big ecosystem. You have to be mindful of the entire ecosystem, not just these individual stocks. So yeah, just be mindful of that, you guys. And again, if you guys do want to know exactly how I am trading these stocks, exactly what my positions are, call options, put options, everything, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter, first link in the description. Having a lot of fun over there, having a lot of fun writing the newsletters. I do send out a newsletter every trading day during market hours, talking about the trades I made that day, new trades, old trades, closed trades, but as well as my general thoughts on the market. Okay, so it's more real-time updates from myself if you are at all interested. Again, first link in the description. Appreciate it if you check it out. If not, no worries. But until next time, you guys, also let me know if you've seen some gains this week. I know I posted a lot of videos kind of mentioning these stocks and the gains that I've seen over this week, but again, you can celebrate too much, but please let me know if you're seeing some green today and if you're excited about these projects. All right, so look forward to talking to you guys down there. Until next time, always remember, you guys, take action, make waves. Peace.